Hello everyone and welcome to patch notes 3.1a. It's already been 2 weeks since 3.1 and we already have a balancing patch for 3.1a with some very interesting changes with this patch. My embargo's been lifted because the patch notes already come out already in China, so my embargo's been lifted so I can finally show you all the changes that will be happening a little bit later this week. This patch will be going live Friday morning in the UK, so that's BST for those of you that want to check your time zones. So it'll probably be Thursday night in America, and then whatever time it will be in SEA. I can't think of time zones and everything like that as well. I think it'll probably be Friday night or something for SEA. But the first thing is obviously the new modes. The Elemental Rift is still available for everyone to test and play. I'm probably going to do a separate video on this to kind of explain what I really like about Elemental Rift and what I don't like. But I think the devs just really want to get this right before they get it into rank. So make sure you're testing this mode. Make sure you're giving devs the feedback, because they're quite open about the feedback as well. They want people to give their feedback. They want people to let them know, what can be changed. And I think there's a few changes that I want to come in for for Elemental Rift, sorry. But again, I'll probably do a separate video on that one. Skins, we have Pajama Guardian Lux and Pajama Guardian Ezreal, so I'll probably do a video on the Pajama Guardian Ezreal. It's very similar to Star Guardian Ezreal, Star Guardian Lux, but still very nice skins. Got some accessories and some emotes as well, which looks really cool. A new event's called Wild Puzzle, so it's going to be some puzzle that you have to get ready to put pieces together for fun. Exciting times ahead for the puzzles. Right, now let's get to the interesting part, which is the champion changes. First up, we have Jarvan, which is surprisingly getting a buff. So the attack speed bonus is going from 15 to 30% to now 20 to 35%. Now, I know there's a few League of Legends people in my ear at the moment. Probably thinking, a lot of League of Legends people probably watching this video, probably thinking maybe support Jarvan might be a thing. The attack speed bonus is quite good, and it can actually proc things like, shields, summon Airy and everything as well. So the attack speed bonus that it gives for Jarvan is quite nice. Also helps him with the jungle clear as well, but I still think Jarvan is actually not a bad jungler at the moment. So getting that extra little bit of attack speed to help him with that jungle clear in the early game could definitely work well and can definitely come in handy for him. Karma, I could totally agree with Karma. Karma is definitely very strong at the moment. They're only nerfing her first ability though, which is quite surprising, mainly to the late game as well. Keeping the early game damage, I feel like the early game damage is fine for Mantra, but yeah, the late game damage is definitely too much. Supports the building like Ludens into support items at the moment just to get the extra AP, because the amount of damage that the first ability can do is completely disgusting. As you can see, it's just a Mantra bonus damage, so the actual first ability itself hasn't really changed too much. But I still think Karma's going to be really strong. Her ultimate as a zoning tool is great. The third ability as well, the second ability is all just really too strong for Karma. Master Yi finally getting changed. Honestly, I don't think this is going to do too much though, because they're only changing the Alpha Strike, but they're only changing the bonus damage against monsters. Because at the moment, Master Yi has probably the best jungle clear out of any jungler at the moment. He can clear the jungle really fast. He can do really well. And then he could do a lot of single target damage now as well with the first ability, which I thought was probably what they were going to change, was kind of the single target damage on Alpha Strike to enemy champions, but they're not doing that. They're just changing it to monsters and minions. So bonus damage against monsters and minions has been nerfed from 90 to 195 to now 80 to 170, and the bonus damage ratio against monsters and minions hit by subsequent strikes is gone from 100% to 25%. So this is why Master Yi could kill kill and clear red buff and blue buff so quickly, is because it was doing 100% bonus damage to every single part of Alpha Strike. So every single hit from Alpha Strike, because Alpha Strike got changed ever so slightly in 3.1, it was doing 100% damage each time. So that's been lowered. So that means that Master Yi's jungle clear has gone down by quite a bit. But to be honest, the amount of damage that Master Yi can do now to enemy champions is it's still quite a lot. So I still think Master Yi will be a fairly good champion. His jungle clear speed is not going to be as good as before, but I still think he'll be completely fine. Moving on to Nunu and Willump. Nunu and Willump's getting some surprisingly nice buffs as well, going more towards the AP ratio of Nunu and Willump. So again, full AP Nunu might be a thing. The armor per level's gone from 3.5 to 3.9, so you'll be able to get a little bit more armor as you scale into the mid and late game. The AP ratio of consumer's gone from 50% to 65%. Which is quite nice. Sometimes you still see Nunus go like Rod of Ages first item. Sometimes they go like Warmorgs or something like that. You know, Deadman, Sunfire. They go for more full tank. So this might put people more towards maybe Rod of Ages and then tank afterwards, which I think will be quite interesting. The damage per snowball as well has also gone up, and also the AP ratio has gone up for the damage per snowball on the third ability. So again, going more towards that AP ratio and more towards the AP build for Nunu. And then the minimum base damage for Absolute Zero has also gone up. So it's a really nice buff for Nunu overall. I feel like Nunu is not a bad champion overall. Tyrus, the jungler for Viv, is definitely going to enjoy these changes because I know he's been playing Nunu in the jungle quite a lot. But yeah, I think Nunu in jungle is quite good. You know, I think he's the best champion in terms of securing objectives because of the consume smite combo. He does really well at zoning with his ultimate. His ganking potential is really, really strong. So I honestly think Nunu is definitely going to be up there as one of the stronger champions in the jungle. You also have the maximum damage as well has also gone up, as you can see, you know, 250% up to 275%, and also the base damage has gone up as well. You know, 1,375 damage as a maximum is quite a lot, and the maximum charge multiplier has also gone from 5 to 5.5. I think these things in colored are like the things that they're going to change before the patch notes go live, just like little tech stuff and everything. Olaf. Olaf's base damage on the third ability has gone down. No surprise here. Olaf is extremely strong at the moment as a Baron laner, even as a mid lane we've seen it sometimes, and also in the jungle. You normally level up this ability first in the jungle, just because how much damage it can deal. It helps you clear the jungle a lot quicker as well. To be honest, 10 base damage is probably not going to do too much. You still have his ultimate, which is just really, really strong, allowing him to just go through team fights and deal so much damage. The build at the moment, it just suits him really, really well, you know, with the likes of Divine Sunderer, Trinity Force, and items like that as well, which work really well with Olaf. So I still think he'll be really strong. Like I said, 10 base damage won't really do too much. It will reduce his clear speed in jungle by a little bit, but honestly, it won't make that much of a difference. I don't know why my scroll wheel's lagging out for some reason. That's quite interesting. Renekton changes. The health per level is going up, and the health at level 15 is now going to be 140. I was going to say 140% more. That would be ridiculous. 140 more. So just increasing the health by a little bit, and also Cole the Meek is also getting a little bit of a buff. So at the moment, the healing per enemy unit is 6 to 15, but now it's going to be 4 to 10, but it's also plus 8% of your bonus attack damage, which is actually quite good for Renekton, because you normally build Blade of Rune King, which gives you a lot of AD. You build Black Cleaver as well, which also gives you a lot of bonus AD. Death Stance as well also gives you a lot of bonus attack damage. So it's actually really good for Renekton. I think this is going to be a really, really good buff. Allows him to heal a little bit more as well, which means that his healing, you know, the enhanced healing as well, as you can see. So the enhanced healing is when he gets his passive stacked. You can see that the base has been lowered, the same as the normal one, but now it's plus 24% of your bonus attack damage. So I honestly think Renekton might be able to heal quite a lot. I feel like Renekton's not really too bad in solo queue. He's a little bit difficult at the moment. He's not really that tanky because you go for this Blades of Rune King Black Cleaver build, but now you have this extra healing with the bonus attack damage. I think he's going to be quite good. Vayne is getting another nerf. Unfortunately, I haven't done a Vayne guide. I will do a Vayne guide eventually with a new build with Vayne. I still think Vayne's going to be completely fine in the next patch. You know, I think the the passive final hour, the bonus movement speed is going from 90 to 70. Even though this is passive, I'm pretty sure this is the ultimate bonus movement speed. I could be completely wrong. Someone correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure the final hour bonus movement speed is the ultimate. Yeah, bonus movement speed is going down from 90 to 70, and the bonus attack, yeah, it is final hour. Why didn't I just read it here? Yeah, so I'm not too sure why this is a passive. I didn't actually realize that the bonus movement speed from final hour was from the passive, but Let's say new every day, I guess. And in the final hour, the bonus AD damage has gone from 30 to 50 down to 20 to 40. But I still think Vayne's going to be completely fine. Like I said, the build at the moment is like Blade Rune King, Storm Razor, you know, PD, Wit's End. Again, I'll probably do a Vayne guide anyway to give you all a little bit of a hint towards that. So you guys can still play Vayne. Like I said, I still think she'll be completely fine. And this Veigar change is very, very interesting. Veigar's third ability is going from 18 to 15 seconds, now down to 16 to 13 seconds on Event Horizon. Again, support players are probably thinking, oh, support Veigar maybe, which honestly might be a thing. You know, if you stack a lot of ability haste with Veigar, and if you keep spamming your third ability, I honestly think Event Horizon is a great ability in Wild Rift. Veigar hasn't been played too much, especially in competitive. I've seen it a few times in solo queue. Honestly, I think, you know, Veigar's quite strong. I think his scaling is not really up there as really one of the best, to be honest. Even though you do get stacks from the from your passive, but the scaling just doesn't really feel like it's impactful. I feel like you need an early game lead to be able to stack well into the mid and the late game. But honestly, this change to Event Horizon, you know, 2 seconds at all rank going down is a pretty big change. It means that you could probably use this ability quite a lot. And like I said, it's a great zoning tool. It's great during team fights as well. It's also really good if you want to protect yourself. And then Vei's base attack damage is going from 58 to 64. So this is really going to help Vi in the jungle by quite a lot. And because of the recent changes to Smite, meaning that you don't deal that 10% bonus damage on auto attacks, they feel that Vi is, you know, kind of lacking behind other junglers in the recent patch. So buffing the bonus AD is quite scary, to be fair. It means that Vi will be able to clear the jungle quicker. It means that she'll also be stronger at the first scuttle crabs as well, which I think Vi is not too bad at the moment anyway. So the buff is a little bit scary to Vi, but we'll have to see how that goes. Some ARAM changes, which is completely fine. Now, Blade of the Rune King is getting a slight nerf. They're increasing it by 100 gold. I think this is fair. I think Blade of the Rune King is quite a strong item. There's a lot of champions that do build Blade of the Rune King. This is, again, another slight nerf to Vayne as well, which means she has to wait for another 100 gold for Blade of the Rune King. I think at the moment, Blades of the Rune King, most of the time you can build this before the first dragon if you can get that little bit of a lead, but now you might have to wait a little bit. I feel like Blade of the Rune King you could get as soon as the 4-minute mark hits, but now you might have to wait a little bit more for Blade of the Rune King. You probably need to get a few kills or something to be able to get Blade of the Rune King before that first dragon. Baron Nashor, the base health is going up. I thought this change happened before in patch 3.1. I'm not too sure why this is here again. But yeah, okay. I thought this was in patch 3.1, but maybe they just moved it forward, or maybe this is another change to Baron. I'm not really too sure. I can't really remember. But the health is going up by 10,000, which is quite oh no, sorry, 1,000. I was going to say 10,000. It's gone up by 1,000, which means that you need a little bit more damage before you can smite it. The Ash's shot damage has gone from 20 to plus 120% attack damage to now 120 plus 25% attack damage. So it means it doesn't really scale that well anymore. But in the early game, it's a lot stronger because it does a lot more base damage. And acid shot damage ratio to targets hit by subsequent shots has gone from 70% to 50%. So this means that Baron is going to be a lot stronger in the early game because the base damage has gone up. Obviously, the extra percentage of the attack damage obviously scales as Baron gets later on into the game. Yeah, interesting change to Baron. This, I think, is the most interesting change in this patch. The home guards and minion changes. You also have respawn times as well, which is also a very interesting change. Movement speed effect has gone from after 12 minutes, you gain 30% movement speed for 4 seconds, to now after 1 minute, you gain 40% movement speed until the game ends. So this little bonus effect you get after 12 minutes, you now get it after 1 minute, which means that champions and players will just get onto the map so much quicker as well, which I think is crazy, which means that there's going to be more team fights, more fiestas, which means that you need to be a little bit careful now, because even though champions might be respawning in 5 seconds and you're going to be starting off the dragon, then champions are going to be speed running back onto the map with this bonus movement speed. 40% bonus movement speed until the game ends is really, really disgusting, to be honest with you. Yeah, it just makes the game a lot faster. It makes laning phase, it makes you get back to laning phase a lot quicker as well, which means you can't really push out the minion waves as much as what you want to. Means you won't be denied as many minions as well if you do get pushed in early on. But yeah, some absolutely crazy changes. Minion movement speed as well has also been changed. The movement speed bonus at 12 minutes has gone from 40 down to only 10. And the maximum bonus movement speed has gone from 120 down to 100. So reducing the movement speed a little bit by the minions. I think it's quite interesting. I think minions at the moment are very, very strong. We've seen even minions end the game before. I think the movement speed is definitely quite interesting. Probably, I guess this kind of counteracts the way that Home Guard is being changed ever so slightly, so less of an impact on minions, and which means this means that the minions will take a longer time to push in the sideways. So sometimes if you get a slow push in either the bottom lane or the Baron lane, sometimes the minions can take towers really, really easily. Because minions do so much damage to towers, it's absolutely disgusting. So now that they have lesser movement speed now, which means that they won't get to the tower as quickly as before. So that means that you're going to get some interesting changes. Respawn time has also been changed. How a champion can be penalized or favored on their death timers. If you have a lead and you're ahead in the game, you'll be penalized less. But if you find yourself behind in your games, you'll be favored less. The base respawn timers, so in the early game, it's gone from 32 to 33, 11 to 13, 38 to 40, and then 13 to 15 minutes, 45 to 47. You also have the maximum modifier as well, which I'm not really too sure what this is. I think the maximum modifier depends on your team, I would guess, or something. I'm not really too sure. I'd probably have to look this up, to be fair, to see what maximum modifier means on respawn timer. If you understand what it means, if you know what it means, then please do let me know. This is the first time me ever reading respawn modifier, to be honest, like maximum modifiers, so it's really interesting. But yeah, the respawn time going up by a few seconds. Again, this probably counters this extra movement speed that you get as well. So, 9 to 11 minutes, even though the respawn time has been delayed by 1 second, that extra movement speed that you can get now after 1 minute in the game kind of counteracts this base movement speed a little bit. You can probably read this as well. Minions play a bigger role in the later stages of the game, which is what I already said. So we're making some adjustments to some of the pressure of those late game minions waves can cause. We're increasing the bonus move speed from home guards in the mid and late game to allow champions to get into more aggressive positions quicker, while also reducing the move speed of the minions game. So yeah, it's pretty much just what I just said. So just allowing champions to get onto the map quicker. And again, it's probably because of this respawn timer thing as well. But that's pretty much everything for this patch. It's just a balance patch, but honestly, as a balance patch, these system changes are going to be very, very interesting indeed. Some interesting champion changes as well. No changes to Karma. We've got some changes to Yi, which I probably don't think will be too much. And we also got some extra skins. So make sure you stay tuned. I'm going to be doing a video on Pajama Guardian Ezreal. I'm going to be testing out all of these new changes as well. So make sure you stay tuned for that one. And as always, take care. And I'll see you all in the next Wild Rift video. Peace.